Creek, Alaska. This is no ordinary stream. It's a gold mine. And this is a gold miner's cabin. Ben and Beth have come all the way from the big city to visit their Uncle David and to learn about gold mining. How many of you have an uncle who's a gold miner in Alaska? They each carry gold pans, and he carries the shovel that they will need. They've never been to a place like this before. It's exciting. Gold has been mined here for more than 100 years. Uncle David explains that there are two kinds of gold mines. One, like this, is called a placer mine. Here, gold was once deep inside the mountains in veins of rock. But after thousands of years, the gold was washed into the stream. The other kind of mine is underground, where people must dig right into the mountain to get to the gold vein. Uncle David tells them about such a gold mine. Small trucks called loaders are used to bring two kinds of rock out of the mine. The rock without gold is called waste rock. The rock with gold inside it is called ore. There is less than an ounce of gold in a ton of rock, so small an amount that the gold ore looks worthless. It's not, of course. The ore will be taken to the mine's mill where the gold will be taken out. All miners must wear special clothing to protect them from injury inside the mine. Here, one group hangs their clothing to dry, while another group gets ready to start work. In the mine's office, the supervisor looks over the work that has been finished. The equipment in this room provides the air, electricity, and water needed by the miners and their machines. Everything is brought into the mine from here through long pipes and tubes. Deep inside the mine, the geologist, a person who studies rocks, collects samples from the gold vein. Back in her laboratory, she'll test them to see how much gold is in the rock. The mine foreman measures the gold vein. It's about 3 feet wide at this place in the mine. The safety engineer and the mine foreman discuss the best way to get the gold out of the mine and at the same time protect the miners against falling rocks. The geologist, the foreman, and the safety engineer are 3 people in this mine with important jobs to do. In another part of the mine, 2 miners are searching for more gold ore. They are using a drill that gets very hot. Water is used to cool it. The drill collects a long, rounded piece of rock called a core. All of these cores are collected and studied by the geologist so that she'll know where the gold vein is. It takes a lot of searching before the gold veins are located. Once a new gold vein is located, the rocks have to be blasted away to get to the gold. Miners use a very large drill to cut deep holes in the rock. In an area this size, many holes must be drilled. Then, specially trained miners load the explosives into the holes. The explosives look like white sausages and must be connected to blasting caps before they can be used. The miners use a wooden stick called a tamping stick to push the explosives as close together as possible. This will help make a more powerful blast. After all the explosives are loaded, the area is cleared for safety. When the explosive charges have been set off and it is safe for the miners to enter again, the loader trucks can begin to carry out the rock. Because it is so dark in the mine, the people who drive these trucks must be very careful. Uncle David asks Ben if he's ready for a miner's job. "I don't know about that," Ben answers. "Well," Uncle David says, "we don't have to dig into the mountains because the stream has already done the work for us. It has created what's called a placer deposit that can be mined with water, a gold pan and a shovel, or larger tools and machines." Mining placer gold is based on the fact that gold is very heavy and it sinks to the bottom, while the gravel and mud, being lighter, are washed away. Uncle David tells them about a large open-pit placer gold mine. A long time ago, a stream ran through these hills and left gold here. After thousands of years, the gold was buried by lots of dust, dirt, and pieces of rock. You can see the line that divides the lighter-colored dirt from the darker dirt of the old stream where the placer gold is. First, the top layers of dirt must be taken out of the old stream bed. They saved this dirt to fill up the pit again and make it look like it did before. The dirt and gravel containing gold are dumped into this large and noisy machine. It shakes on its springs like a giant gold pan and separates the big waste rocks. The rest of the dirt runs into water boxes that are called sluice boxes. The waste rocks are carried along on a conveyor belt and saved so that they also can be used to fill in the pit. The sluice or water box has 3 sections and an astroturf carpet on the bottom. The gold is caught in here. The extra water, mud, and rock flow into a man-made pond that will eventually fill up and look like an ordinary field. Here, the miners are cleaning the carpet of the water box to make sure that all the gold mixed with mud and gravel is washed into buckets. The buckets are brought to a room in the mine and run through a loud machine called a nugget jig, where gold nuggets are found. Then the rest of the small pieces of gold, gravel, and mud drain into a large tub. From there, they are poured onto this machine. It is called a shaking table. You can see and hear why. It is a large table with a built-in motor which shakes it back and forth like a gold pan. Again, the heavier gold sinks to the bottom, and soon a thin line of gold begins to form. Most of the gold is recovered on this shaking table, but some of the lightest flakes of gold are still mixed in with the mud and gravel. These are run through an even smaller shaking table. Here, the gold dust is collected. It is so fine, the miner uses his fingers to scoop it out. Then, all the gold mined that day is dried in pans and weighed. The nuggets will be used for jewelry, just as they are. The fine gold will be melted and poured into a bar. When the furnace gets to more than 2,000 degrees, the gold inside melts. The gold is then poured into a mold. Notice the fire suit worn by the person who does this job. It protects him from the heat. After the bar cools enough, it is taken out of the mold and the melted rock, called slag, is knocked off. It shatters like glass, leaving a gold bar. Uncle David says the gold pan works the same way the sluice box and shaking tables do. The heavy gold sinks to the bottom, and the gravel and mud are washed away. With a lot of patience and luck, too, there's sometimes a surprising flash in the pan, a gold nugget. Ben gets to hold the nugget first. Then Beth. Beth gets to keep this one, and Uncle David says he'll help make it into a nice charm for her bracelet. The next one goes to Ben. Uncle David loads their pan. Ben and Beth try their skill as gold miners. While they're doing that, he tells them that once a nugget the size of a hen's egg was found right here at Crow Creek. Gold mining may be hard work, but it's also a lot of fun.